Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Timmy. I am a tarot reader, an intuitive, and a musician. So today we are going to do another general reading that I have prepared for you. Remember, these are general readings. So some things might resonate with you, some things might not. They are meant for a larger group of people. So if something sounds like you, great. I'm super glad if it feels right to you. If certain parts do but other parts don't, take it with a grain of salt. Remember, if you ever want a personal reading with me, you can comment below, you can direct message me, you can sign up for a reading at my website, aceofcupsreadings.com. And I would love to have a personal chat with you and do a reading. But for today, these are general. So thank you. I just wanted to put that disclaimer up top. Also, another disclaimer, my cat is, I believe, right out of frame, so he might be popping in and out. That's just Figaro, and we love him, so hopefully he's not too disruptive. So today the reading is who am I and what is my thing that's special about me? What's my greatest strength? Okay, so again, we have three piles right here. Aventurine, we're going to call this group 1. Citrine, this is group 2, and then Sodalite is group number 3. I'll be going through them one at a time once I start the reading, and we'll put, as always, the time codes down below if you would like to watch the whole video, or if you can pick more than one pile, maybe more than one's calling out to you. So in that case, please watch the entire video. If not, check the time codes and just jump to your group, okay? Please remember, pick with your intuition, your inner knowing. That's going to give you the best and most insightful reading for you. If you need to pause the video, Figaro and I will be here when you get back. But for sure, just take a moment, take a deep breath, and go with your gut. All right, so I'll give you a moment. All right. So group 1, 2, or 3. Let's start with group 1. I'm just gonna scooch these out of the way. This is group 1, Aventurine. All right, so I will show you the cards and what the placements are. This is kind of like a mini spread this time instead of being super duper general. So for every group, the first card is who you are. Okay, and this is from the Cat Tarot deck, and each card is going to be just a major arcana archetype because I filtered all the rest of them out. So let's see what you have. So who you are from Cat Tarot, the Star. Okay, next is what you want or what you're aspiring to, and this is from the Waite Centennial deck. And it is 8 of Wands. Okay, this is from the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, and it is what is your greatest obstacle is the placement for this, and it's number 3, fertility. And then last, what is your greatest gift or what is your greatest strength? This is from, if you've been watching my videos, you know my absolute favorite deck ever, the Wild Unknown Tarot deck, and this is the Chariot. Okay, so let's go by one each placement, and then I'll kind of wrap it up. Okay, so group 1, who you are, the Star. This is a really great one. It's really interesting. I feel like you're a very interesting person. You're very interested in the macro level of things, right? You're not just in this like day-to-day grind, or like that's who you want to be, right? You take into consideration the big picture, whether it's you dealing with yourself, friends, family, whatever, or just like your ideas and your beliefs about how things are, right? You, I think, are a great person for people to come to for advice or wisdom or guidance because you really see the full scope of things. You're very wise, and you're also a like refreshing person to be around for people. Maybe they feel like when when they visited with you, maybe they come and they're in a bad mood, but then when they leave, they're like, you know what, I don't even remember what I was upset about. Like, you can do that for people. That's really, really fantastic. I love it. Okay. Next is what you want or what you're striving for, right? And this is the 8 of Wands. You can see they're all pointing in one direction, right? So I think maybe what you are looking for is to have this sense of purpose and direction. One of the things that can, I don't want to say be a problem, but one of the things that can happen when we tend to look at everything on this big macro scale, right? If that's who you are, the star, sometimes it can be difficult to focus in on like 1 or 2 things, or that specific thing that we're wanting to go for. And 8 of Wands helps us with that, right? They're pointing in the direction, they're saying this is where you want to go. So I would say take some time and really think about it. If you're someone who likes to think on the macro scale, it might be interesting to take things down a notch and focus in on the smaller things. Make lists, do some short meditations or long meditations, like take inspiration from the universe you're so in tune with and in touch with, to find that guiding force that's going to point you in your direction. Because with this personality of being the star, I feel like if you put your mind to something, you can do anything. But for you, I think it's just about focus and finding that focus. Okay, next is, what is your greatest challenge? Okay, and again, Psychic Tarot deck, number 3, fertility. And remember, these are not gendered cards. It happens to be someone who presents as female on the card, but this card is for everyone. It's very similar to maybe the Empress in a traditional 78 card tarot deck. And it's all about being in touch with yourself and nature at the same time. I feel like you've already kind of got that going on with the star, this like nature aspect. But maybe you do, because you're so ethereal and you're always thinking on the macro scale, maybe you need to get a little bit more in touch with yourself and how you feel about things, right? Which I think goes with the 8 of Wands very, very well too, right? If you're looking for direction, where's the best place to start looking? It's inside yourself, because I really do believe like we know everything that we need to know at any given time. It's just about being able to access that. And I think you might be having a hard time or struggling with accessing how you really feel about something, because you've got so much going on. It's all about narrowing it down. And this card is also about accepting yourself for who you are and accepting the things that maybe seem a little 3D or a little too like mundane and day to day. Like, what kind of foods do you like to eat? What kind of indulgences do you like to have? And remembering that like that is okay to have those things about yourself. And it's important to know, because self-care is so important, right, for all of us. So you need to find those ways to treat yourself correctly so that you can then focus on the thing that you want and go on that path, right? Everything starts from within, and it's not selfish to think that way. It's healthy, right? Take care of yourself and other things will fall into place. I think that is advice that all of us could use sometime, for sure, including myself. Okay, and then your very last card, the Chariot. Okay, and remember, this is your greatest strength or your greatest gift. And this is an amazing one. This is number 7 in the Major Arcana if you're using a traditional tarot deck. And the Chariot is all about going for things, striving for things, and this sense that you just like never give up. So I really feel for you that if you can figure out what this thing is that you're really wanting, that 8 of Wands energy, if you really can figure that out, there is literally no stopping you. You will make it to the end, to that finish line, and you're gonna just blow people away, right? Don't ever underestimate, it's, because I don't want to say like hard work, because it is. The Chariot works super duper hard, and is always moving and just like eyes on the prize. That is true. But it's also that like spirit and determination and will. You know what I mean? And that's something very special about you that not everybody has. So if I were to wrap it up, right? If that's your greatest gift, right? The ability to go out and get things and make them happen for yourself, right? So figure out what that thing is. Take care of yourself, right? Make sure you're doing self-care, you're connecting with yourself and your inner knowing, you're letting yourself enjoy life and indulge in things so that you are refreshed and ready to accept the call for what you want, right? That's our Eight of Wands. And just your inner knowing and your idea about just the big picture of things is going to help you so, so much. I really feel like you have everything going for you. So it's all about putting the pieces together, right? Figure out what you want by taking care of yourself and then go for it, because you can do it, right? The Chariot is amazing and you're amazing. And it's, I mean, I hope this resonates for you. I think you've got a lot of work to do, but it's going to be so exciting. So just go for it. Okay, great. So that is group 1. Group number 2 is our Citrine. So if you picked the Citrine stone, or group number 2. Okay, so I will lay the cards out and then tell you their positions for the spread, and then we'll go through them. So card number 1 from the Cat Tarot deck, this is who you are, or who you identify as. You have the Hermit. Number 2 is what do you want, or like what are you striving for? What's your ambition? And it's Page of Wands, and that is from the Waite Centennial deck. Next is what is your greatest challenge or obstacle? This is from the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck, and it is your base chakra. It's interesting, sometimes I pull out just the chakra cards to assign them, but I've used the full deck this time, so it's interesting that made it in there for you, group 2. And then the last card is your greatest gift or your greatest strength. This is from the Wild Unknown Tarot deck, and it is the 3 of Swords. Okay, so let's go back. Card number 1, the Hermit. This is who you are, or who you identify with right now. And the Hermit is a great card. I love it, and it's super cute in the Cat Tarot, so that always makes it even more fun. But so the Hermit, you're maybe someone that likes to be by yourself a lot. You really appreciate and need that time on your own to like think things through, maybe recharge. It might feel a little exhausting being around people sometimes, and like we can all get like that, but I feel like you especially know that you're the type of person that really needs to be focused and to take time for yourself. And I love that about you. That's so important. Like, so many people struggle with the idea of taking care of yourself first because they think it's selfish, but you don't, and you're totally correct. It's not selfish to think about yourself, right? It would be selfish if you think about yourself and that's all you care about and you're not trying to use it in a positive way with the world, but I don't think that that's who you are, right? This is how you recharge. This is how you center yourself, and you just keep doing you, because that's amazing. Okay, number 2 is our Page of Wands, and again, this is your greatest, the word just flew out of my head. The thing that you are striving for, like what do you want, right? So Page of Wands, this is a court card, right? The very first court card in the Wands suit, right? So pages are getting really good at the thing, right, they're trying to do. Wands represent like fiery energy and also magic or manifestation. So I'm feeling like a lot of you guys maybe want to create something. It seems like you're you're maybe an artist, maybe a musician. One could argue that a musician, as one, is also an artist for sure. But you're interested in creating and making things, and that is so great. If you haven't, maybe it's something that you used to do and you want to kind of get it started again, or maybe it's something brand new. And I will say that there is always time to try something new. It doesn't matter if you're doing this now or, oh, I haven't done this in 20 years. Don't ever let anybody tell you that like you can't start something new, because that's what we're here for. We're here to gain experiences. And if you want to paint, paint. If you want to make music, make music. If you want to make pottery, maybe you just like to cook, right? But find that thing that you're wanting to achieve, you're wanting to do, and go for it. There's nothing stopping you, right? I think we should all try to do the things that make us the most happy. And if being creative is going to do that for you, that's amazing. And you should go for it. Okay, so we'll come back around to everything again. But our next card, right, is your greatest challenge, right? And it is our base chakra card. And the base chakra is down here, right? And it is, as it says, like our base. Yeah, it's actually even lower. It's like down here, and it's starting from the ground up, right? How do we build a house? You start with a foundation, and that's what the base chakra is all about. I feel like maybe the reason that you're not going for this thing, the reason that you're not switching to being creative or taking time to be creative, is because you're very concerned with like the fundamental things that you think you need to survive, like physical things in this like 3D realm. Money, food, finances. Oh, I said money twice, but there you go. Material items, shelter, places to live, and I don't know, it could go either way. Again, this is a general reading. Maybe that's a very real thing for you right now. You're living paycheck to paycheck and you just like don't have time to focus on this thing that you want. Or it could be something that you think that might happen, like, oh, what if I all of a sudden, if I switch to this creative thing, I won't have enough money to be successful, or I won't be able to pay my rent. And those are very real world scary things. So and because this is such a general reading, it could go either way. I think that no matter what, take a step back, calm yourself down, maybe meditate, do some grounding, right? And really think about what are these fears that you have that are super realistic, because then you can maybe start to address them. But then maybe what are some of these fears that are more like your brain firing and telling you to be worried because it's trying to protect you? I know for me, sometimes I tend to go to the worst case scenario for things. I was just talking about that with someone the other day. But then when I actually reflect, it's not quite as bad as it seems. So I think this kind of goes hand in hand with the idea of you being the hermit, right? Presumably so if you're someone who spends a lot of time alone, you do a lot of thinking, and maybe you're doing a lot of overthinking. And even if you're not, even again, if I said you're a person where these are real issues for you and real concerns, there's always a way to figure something out. There always is. So don't let these issues or concerns hold you back from being the person that you want to be, right? Work together, use your intuition, like trust the universe. And I'm sure you'll come up with at least some kind of solution. Again, I don't want to make light of anything. If this is like a real thing that's happening for you, and you're struggling with some of these just sustainability things, don't be afraid to ask people for help. Don't be afraid to think in yourself, like, well, what are some of the things that I can do for myself that might help? but I just want to encourage you that there is always a way to break free and to do the thing that you want, and to also be feeling fulfilled. All right, and our last card, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spend so much time on the thing that's an obstacle for you, but I felt like maybe you needed to hear it. Okay, and our last card is, right, what is your greatest strength or gift? And it is the Three of Swords, right? I think a lot of people might look at that card. I mean, it's a little bit scary, but remember, there's no bad cards and there's no good cards in tarot. They just are what they are, and they're inviting us into something. And I think the Three of Swords is actually really amazing. In a lot of decks, I was looking around, like I had one with me. In a lot of decks, you'll see like a heart and then three swords piercing into it. This one, you see like the swords, and then there's like kind of what looks like blood dripping. So it is, swords are all about mental, right? Thinking, your brain, your mental capacities. And I think, again, this works so well with you being the hermit, right? Presumably, if you are taking a lot of time to yourself and staying alone a lot, you're doing a lot of thinking. So it totally makes sense that your greatest strength would be your ability to process things mentally, and that's a super important gift. It's very important to be able to have that like mental quickness and swiftness, right? To be able to really like problem solve. Three of Swords is all about like communication or lack of communication and the feelings that those elicit from us. So I think maybe your greatest gift is to be able to kind of wade through all that. I'm getting the sense that you are like a very logical person, which is, this is all saying to me, right? That would explain why you're maybe a little bit of an overthinker sometimes, or a worrier when it comes to like bills or anything like that, because you're always like calculating things in your head, and that's why you're spending a lot of time by yourself. But I think a lot of people get very bogged down in this idea of like, oh, so and so said this to me in this email, and like that is just such a cutting thing, like they did it on purpose to make me upset. But I feel like you can see through all that, and you can take things as they come at you and process them without feeling all this like blame or he said, she said, and you can just like get things done. That's super, super important and a great gift, because most people, I don't want to say most, a lot of people, again, including myself, I'm trying to work on it, but sometimes I'll get an email or a text and I'll be like, well, what do they mean by that? And maybe my partner has to be like, I don't think that they meant anything, because you see things for as they are, right? You see that everyone's just kind of doing their own thing. As a person who loves having your own personal time, you understand that most people are just worried about their day-to-day and what they have to do, right? So in that sense, you're able to override this like sense of, oh, I'm self-conscious, or so-and-so doesn't like me. And that's gonna make you amazing at creating things too, being an artist or a creative, because no matter what you're doing, right, whenever you're creating something, there's a chance that somebody's gonna not like what you're doing. There's probably gonna be more people that like it, but you need to be able to process possibly criticism and be able to say, okay, that's fine, it's not for them, but I'm gonna keep doing what I wanna do. And wow, boy, I wish I had more of that. That's amazing. So just to kind of give you a little review, right? This is who you are, the hermit. You need your time to yourself. That's great. Take care of yourself. Not everybody has that gift to know and understand how much they need to process things and need to like re-energize for themselves. Okay, you're spending all this time, maybe one of the things you want to be doing is making something, creating something. That's amazing. But you're a little too worried about day-to-day things, right? Calculations, like, am I going to be able to do this? What happens if this happens? Blah, 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 blah. If those are real concerns for you, you have the brain power to work them out and come up with a solution, or at least some solutions for them. I have faith in you. If it's just your overactive brain being like, what am I going to do? Take that you time, calm yourself down, and really problem solve, but like in a healthy way. And just keep doing this. Keep doing what you're doing. Block out all that negativity from other people if it's coming your way. Use that gift to be the best at whatever you want to be, right? Whether you're, I keep on going back to cooking. I guess I'm hungry. But whether you're going to be a chef, whether you're going to be a painter, whether you're going to be a sculptor, whether you're going to be a pianist, just trust that you know the right path for you, and that what everyone else has to say is just their opinion. But what matters most is your opinion. Okay, great. Thank you, group number 2. And our last group, this is group number 3, if you picked our Sodalite stone. Okay, I'm gonna go through the whole spread, and then we'll go through them one by one, and then I'll wrap it up. So this first card is you, or who you identify as, right? This is always a changing thing, right? So for this, it's the Tower card from the Cat Tarot. And I'll go back and describe all of them for you. All right, whoopsies. Next is what is your greatest ambition or your greatest desire at this present moment? And it's from the Waite Centennial, and it is the Ace of Cups, my absolute favorite card. All right, next is what is your greatest obstacle or challenge? And it is our Sacral Chakra card from the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. Again, interesting, this is the second group that got a chakra card. Sometimes I'll pull them out separately and just do chakras, but I did the whole deck today, and I still got, like, two of these groups got chakra cards, which is interesting. And the very last card is from the Wild Unknown Tarot, and this is your greatest gift or your greatest strength. All right, let's go through these. All right, so who do you identify as? Who are you? The Tower. Okay. Luckily, this is the Cat Tarot, so it's not super scary. A lot of the times, the Tower card is like a huge building on fire with lightning striking it and people like falling out of it. But the Cat Tarot makes it a little bit cuter, always. So again, some people think of the Tower as a scary card. It's not, right? It's just about change, right? It's just about being prepared for change, and I'm getting that from you. I feel like group number 3 that a lot of you are living or have been living for a lot of your life in a series of constantly changing circumstances, I don't want to say falling apart, but things changing and you having to constantly like rebuild. But that shows versatility, it shows strength and endurance, and it shows that you are flexible, malleable. A lot of people stay in the same place their entire lives and never change, but you're not like that. You're like, okay, well, this didn't work, now what do I do? It shows that you're very resourceful too, which is a great asset to have. I mean, I said that like the first card is who you are, and the last card is your greatest gift or strength, but like who you are, right? Recognize the gifts that gives you, right? Because it's a lot of them. Okay, next card is, what is your aspiration? What's the thing that you're striving for? And it is Ace of Cups. And I can totally see this going with the Tower, right? If you are the type of person who is always faced with like ever-changing circumstances and you're having to start over constantly, that shows that you're super resourceful and that you can get stuff done, you know? But it also, to me, means that sometimes you have a hard time just like sitting with who you are and saying like, this is me and these are the things I love about myself. I mean, I say it over and over, but I really do believe it's true. Like, you have to start from within. You can't love anybody else until you love yourself. So I feel like maybe one of the things that you're struggling with or have struggled with in the past maybe, or maybe in the future will struggle with, is the idea of really knowing and caring about yourself in a way that is then beamed outwards to others, right? You can always tell when someone truly loves and knows who they are. It's like magical being around that person. And I think you want to be that person for people, right? You want to be like a beacon of light. But I think because of things that have happened in the past or whatever, you have a hard time with that. But that's a great goal to have, because you have to start with yourself, right? Work on yourself and then work on the inward, and the external things will follow. I love that. That's a beautiful goal, and it's one we're all working on. I know that I am, for sure. Okay, next is your greatest obstacle, right? The thing that you need to work on, or that is maybe standing in your way a little bit. And again, this doesn't mean that you can't overcome it. It's just something that we all have obstacles, right? It's just stuff that we need to be more aware of and mindful of and be working on them. I know I have a whole slew of them for myself, okay? So it is the sacral chakra card, right? So, and that is, again, similar to, we had our, interestingly enough, our base chakra, which is way at the bottom. This one's a little bit more up, like towards the hip, right? The pelvic area. And it's about desire and wanting things. And it could be in a sexual way, but it does not have to be. It's just this idea of like, we all want things, right? Everyone does. If you don't have goals that you're striving for, then like, what is the point of living this life, right? We always want to be reaching up for something or like working towards something, and that's great. But I think maybe you, group 3, you're having a hard time with this. Whether it's in like relationships with other people, or whether it's literally with just like things in the physical world. Because of these constant changing circumstances, right, that you've had to be dealing with, maybe you think that it's not worth asking the universe for something, or if it's not worth trying to strive for something or to get something that you want, because, oh, it's just gonna come crumbling down, right? And maybe that's true. We all have to be able to accept that things can't stay the same way forever. That is true. But that doesn't mean we have to constantly be like bracing ourselves for the falling of the tower. When things are good, enjoy them. When you are able to get something that you want, go for it, right? No one can predict the future, not really, really, truly, because we still have choices and we still have free will, and there's all these different timelines, right? If you believe in that, so any one of them could happen. So we have to get comfortable in the uncomfortable, and that's a scary thing. I think everybody needs to work on this a little bit, but really sit with yourself, think about like, what is it that I do want? Because maybe you don't even know, maybe you haven't even like opened yourself up to the possibility of that. So if you haven't, really think about it. Again, meditate. The stone red jasper is really, really great for this. This is something that like I've worked on in the past, not too long ago, and that really, really helped me, like having red jasper on me or like meditating with it. So yeah, I think you deserve things, and even though they might not be permanent, don't be afraid to go for them, right? Be willing, and that goes with like the self-care and the self-love thing too with the Ace of Cups. If you are really in touch with yourself and your intuition, and you know who you are and you know what you want and you know that that's okay, then this will open up as well. So I love that your obstacle is aligning with like the thing that you want, or yeah, aligning as in like working together. Okay. And then finally, like, first of all of these seem like strengths to me, group 3. Your last card is Justice. And this is, sorry, I spaced out for 1 second. Justice is, right, your greatest strength or your greatest gift. And I love how all of these are lining up. I mean, obviously that's what tarot's for, but I love that this through line, that's presented here, right? Justice makes perfect sense with who you identify as, right? Somebody who is comfortable with change and constantly changing circumstances, right? Because justice is about you being able to see things as they are, right? Think objectively, problem solve, and not necessarily like judge others for what they're doing, right? Maybe someone else is doing this, but all you can do is think about what you're presented with and then make a decision based on that. And it's not always going to be the same decision. Not everyone has this like sense of balance, right? You see the two cats, like one, I don't know if I'm pointing to the right one dark and one light. It's that very like yin yang sort of thing too, where like you accept both the lightness about yourself and others and the darkness about yourself and others. It's super important for us to be able to go through the world and not constantly be judging ourselves for sure, but to be judging others, right? How are you ever going to get anything done if you're constantly throwing judgment at people, including yourself? So this is amazing. I think you're very logical, and I think you get stuff done no problem, right? This is amazing. So I do think if you use this skill, right, of getting things done, of making decisions, if you decide, okay, I'm going to work on myself, I'm going to love myself, if you make that your goal and do it without judgment, which clearly you're able to do, if you can do that, then you can reach this blissful state of Ace of Cups, of being like, I know who I am and I love it. And that's, again, I can't tell you enough, like that's an amazing thing to want to be doing and to want to be working on, because it's going to help you first and foremost, but again, that's going to help everyone else. Okay, just really quickly, I'm going to sum it all up for you. Remember, this is who you identify as, right? Someone who's had changing circumstances. Maybe you're constantly having to like start over, but you're like really, really good at this. And that is a skill that will serve you forever. I know I say that like, this is who you are, and then this is like your greatest gift, but they're kind of both amazing gifts. It's super important to understand the great things about yourself and to use them to your advantage. All right, so you're doing this all the time, but you really, really want to be in touch with yourself and your emotions and your intuition and be the best version of you that you can be, like spiritually and emotionally. And that way you can like send that out to others. I love it. Love, love, love. Do that, please. This, if we all did this, the world would be the best place like you could ever imagine. Okay, but your greatest obstacle is that you're worried about wanting things. You're worried about taking care of yourself because maybe you think it's selfish, but I'm telling you, right, it is not. Take care of yourself, love yourself, right? Go for the things that you want. Don't be afraid to indulge if whatever that, you know, if this is part of that, right? Because that's all gonna help you get here to your greatest goal. And right along the way, keep not judging other people. Keep not judging yourself. I think you might be harder on yourself, like most of us are, than you are on other people. So take that kindness and that balanced sense that you approach everything else and everyone else with, apply it to yourself. Cut yourself some slack. Allow yourself to have the things that you want and to, first and foremost, be the person that you are, because you're lovely. Okay, that's it, group 3. Thank you so much. Again, everyone, if you watch the whole video, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, or you want to share your experience with me, or if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I would love, love, love to chat with you. I'll be back again soon with another general reading and some more deck reviews and things like that. Hopefully some special guests coming up soon as well. If you would like to talk to me, again, you can comment, you can message me. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can find me on aceofcupsreadings.com. Again, remember, I know I said this at the beginning, these readings are general, so take what resonates and leave the rest. I hope this was helpful for you. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!